Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. Students, today we'll discuss chapter 5, Indigo, written by Louis Fisher. He was an American journalist. This chapter is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. The book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by Times Educational Supplement. This book was used as the basis for the academic award-winning film Gandhi, released in the year 1982. Louis Fisher first met Gandhi in 1942 when he visited his ashram in Sevagram. It was then that Gandhi told him why in 1917 he decided to insist on the British leaving India. So here is the description. In December 1916, Gandhi was in Lucknow to attend the annual convention of the Indian National Congress. It was there that he met a poor peasant from Champaran, Bihar, Rajkumar Shukla, who requested Gandhi to visit his district. Rajkumar Shukla was one of the poor sharecroppers. Under an old agreement, the peasants were forced by British indigo planters to grow indigo on 15% of their land and surrender their entire indigo harvest as rent. This was done by a long-term contract. Rajkumar Shukla had been advised to speak to Gandhiji to seek a way out of the injustice caused to them by the British landlords. Gandhiji was impressed by his resolution and told him to meet him in Calcutta, now Kolkata, and take him to Champaran from there. Months later, when Gandhiji went to Calcutta, Shukla was waiting for him at the appointed spot. From there, two of them left for Patna. There, Shukla took him to meet a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became president of the Congress Party and of India. Gandhiji then went to Muzaffarpur to gather more information about the prevailing conditions. The news of Gandhi's arrival and of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and the sharecroppers of Champaran. People flocked to see him. He learned that Muzaffarpur lawyers were charging a hefty fee from the poor peasants. Gandhiji chided, Gandhiji scolded the lawyers and also stopped them from going to law courts. He strongly felt they needed only to be free from fear. Gandhiji came to know that most of the agricultural land in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. The chief commercial crop was indigo. When the landlords learned that Germany had produced synthetic indigo, they forced the sharecroppers to sign an agreement to pay them compensation. They wanted their money back. And at this point, Gandhiji arrived in Champaran. Now let's see how the Champaran episode became a turning point in Gandhi's life. Students, it's one of the most important questions that you get. So read pages 50, 51, and 52 very carefully. Now, he began by collecting data. The commissioner advised Gandhiji to leave Trihut division immediately. But Gandhiji, along with several lawyers, went to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. A huge crowd greeted him at the railway station. There, he learnt of a peasant who had been maltreated and decided to see him. But on the way, the police forced him to return. He was served an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. But Gandhiji refused. He was ordered to appear in the court the next day. The next morning, Motihari was teeming with peasants. They had only heard of a Mahatma who wanted to help them. Now he himself was in trouble with the authorities. But their gathering in huge numbers was the beginning of their freedom from fear of the British. That's what Gandhiji wanted. The crowd was uncontrollable. The British officials needed Gandhiji's cooperation to control the crowd. He was polite and friendly. This was the proof that the power of the Britishers could be challenged by Indians. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. The authorities wished to talk to their superiors. Gandhiji protested against the delay and also read a statement pleading guilty. He was torn between two situations. On the one hand, he did not want to set a bad example as a lawbreaker, and on the other hand, he had to be compassionate towards the nation. He refused to leave because that was what the voice of his conscience urged him to do. He asked for the punishment. The magistrate asked Gandhi to furnish bail, but when Gandhi refused, he had to be released without it. Meanwhile, Rajendra Prasad, along with other well-known lawyers, had arrived from Bihar. He asked them to fight for the sharecroppers if he went to jail. The lawyers felt if a stranger was prepared to go to prison for the sake of the peasants, it would be disgraceful for them to go home. They assured Gandhi that they were ready to follow him into jail. The Battle of Champaran was won. Gandhiji exclaimed, "Students, please note that this is a key line. The Battle of Champaran was won." It is one of the most important long answer type questions. Therefore, you must read the chapter thoroughly. So, several days later, Gandhi learned that the case against him had to be dropped. Civil disobedience had won for the first time in modern India. Then Gandhi and the lawyers prepared cases for about 10,000 peasants and collected relevant documents. The coming days saw a lot of activity in Champaran, with the landlords protesting violently. An inquiry committee was organized regarding the sharecropping situation. It comprised landlords, British government officials, and Gandhi as the only representative of the peasants. The committee gathered a lot of proofs against the planters, and it was decided that the peasants must be refunded. Much to everyone's surprise, Gandhi asked for only 50% of the entire sum of money, but the landlords offered to refund to the extent of only 25%, and surprisingly, Gandhi accepted it, thus breaking the deadlock. The settlement was adopted unanimously. Gandhi explained that the amount of refund was less important than the fact that the landlords had been obliged to surrender their pride. The peasants realized that they had rights, and this was their first lesson in courage. Children, that's what Gandhiji wanted. Within a few years, the British planters left their estates, which were returned to the peasants. This was the end of indigo sharecropping. The episode of Champaran changed the plight of the peasants. Students, Gandhi never contented himself with large political or economic solutions. He saw the cultural backwardness in Champaran. He requested teachers to educate the masses. Health conditions were in a bad state. Gandhi got a doctor, render his services for 6 months in Champaran. Castor oil, quinine, and sulfur ointment were made available for common people. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. He further explained that what he did was a very ordinary thing. He declared that the British could not order him about in his own country. It had all begun as an attempt to help the poor peasants. For Gandhi, Politics was always closely linked with the day-to-day problems of the common man. Gandhi's effort was to make a self-reliant, free India. Students, this was the synopsis of the chapter Indigo. For better understanding, you must read the chapter thoroughly. Thank you and have a nice day.